Men were built to overcome danger, not be comfortable. And there's a lot of people that are not comfortable with being with themselves. It's like there's this flame of silence that rises within them, and they don't know how to respond to it when they're alone. A lot of people can't be alone. A lot of people don't know how to be alone. And when they see someone like yourself who is calm, cool, collected, you know how to maneuver in silence. You know how to build in silence, because you know that telling somebody your plans is one of the quickest ways to allow the devil to intervene. And I'll tell people my plans vaguely, but I'm not going to give them any of the details, because obviously I have to give people a vision. As a leader and someone that's striving to create more leaders of their own lives, I have to give people some semblance of a vision of what they could embody in their life to look like. And I'm not saying that I need to lead by example to every person on the planet necessarily. I'm just saying that to people that understand my message, they'll understand it. People that don't, well, they're not going to. But there's only one thing that I fear really in this life other than the Most High God, and it's not death. It's not living in the truth. And that kind of coincides with the fear of God, of course, but sometimes the best teacher is silence. And there's many times where the greatest revelations that I've ever had have come to me in silence. And as anybody that's been following this channel for the last few weeks or so, etc., they understand that right now we're entering a second 72-hour fast right now. And I had my last meal before this fast hours and hours ago. And so I'm entering into the first 12 hours now of the fast. And where we're at in this point in time, at the time of filming this, is recognizing just how many people are not going to be capable of conquering their demons. And this is the time, like these fasts that we're doing is the time to wage war on those inner demons that you have, because you think the devil is outside of you? No. You invite the devil in. The devil can only be really involved in your life if you invite him to do so. And so the devil will, of course, send his agents. But it's you that's going to have to identify whether or not these people are from God or from Satan himself. And there really is no in between. You're either on God's team or you're not. And these people are going to feel the wrath of silence. They're going to feel the fire of silence. When you're able to sit there in silence and calmly, just with a look, be able to read into their soul and rebuke them with your silence. Sometimes the best kind of reaction is no reaction or no response. Because that's what they want. What Satan wants is some kind of energy transfer from you. He wants you to think about just the distractions themselves. And so there's a verse here from Isaiah 13, and it says, "Therefore all hands will be limp, every man's heart will melt, and they will be afraid. Pangs and sorrows will take hold of them, and they will be in pain as a woman in childbirth. They will be amazed at one another, and their faces will be like flames." That's going to be the day that the Lord comes. Have you ever looked at the sun? You ever seen how bright the sun is? I imagine that that's how blinding God's glory really will be until we die. And then if we are living in the truth and we are abiding in it, then we're going to be able to have the eyes to look upon the glory of God. It's not going to be a transcendental object at the end of time necessarily, as Terence McKenna would describe. I would more call it the transcendental substance at the end of time, because it's not really the end of time. It's the timelessness, which is the substance of life itself, is going to be that timelessness and that substance. And the people that are not abiding in the truth, the people who are not following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, they're going to be blinded by this, and they're going to be choosing hell. He's given us all free will. And so we have the choice to choose which route we want to go. And so, yeah, it's going to be blinding to you. The light is going to be blinding to you if you're going to be stuck in the cave, right? Everybody knows the allegory of the cave with Plato. And in the allegory of the cave, the people that are stuck in the cave, and the one person that breaks free, and he goes up out of the cave, and he sees the real world. He sees the real trees, the real animals, the real grass, the real sunlight. And it's almost blinding to him because he's been stuck in the cave for so long. And when he goes back into the cave, he tries to tell the people that are shackled, staring at the wall, looking at the shadows, that people are using a campfire in the background to make like hand puppets for the shadows on the wall. This person that escapes goes back to tell the people that are shackled, looking at the wall, that they're in a cave, and they don't believe it. They don't believe it because they're haughty and they think that they know the reality, and yet they don't. You see, you have to explore the dark side sometimes. You've got to explore the dark side. And I'm not saying you need to you need to be on the dark side. I'm saying that you have to understand all of the aspects of this reality to truly move forward and to truly get a grasp of what things are like. When I was reading Mein Kampf, for example, I read Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler a few years ago for the first time. And when I first got the book, I had a roommate at the time, and he was a little concerned about me, about like, why am I reading Mein Kampf? And it's like, well, how am I going to really know what this guy was thinking if I don't actually read his books? Like, we were just told. I could not recall one time where I actually saw like a whole speech of his, or I actually read anything that he wrote. I was just constantly told through oral speech what was true throughout my entire education. And so I finally decided, well, if this guy really is a psychopath, I want to learn about how his mind works. I want to learn about how the mind of a psychopath works. And you read Mein Kampf, and you think to yourself, holy moly. Yeah, this guy was very, very sophisticatingly unsophisticated in some sense. And I'm not making any claims about whether, like, because I know that's a big thing right now, is to get on the Hitler is good. That's not what I'm saying at all. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I think some of the data has been skewed, of course, but I've read Mein Kampf. Okay, I've read the way that he talks about how to spread propaganda. I've read about how to get people to adhere to an ideology. It's literally in the book. So, and it's not coming from a place of, oh, this is, we need to understand this at the intellectual level. It's like, no, we need to get people to get on board with this, and this is how we're going to do it. It's a whole marketing ploy of some kind as well. And I get it. Like, I get sometimes, like, you need to have as far as like understanding the way to get a movement started, you need people to have a reward of some kind, right? Well, what was the reward of Mein Kampf? Well, the reward was giving glory back to Germany. The reward was giving dignity back to its people and to restore order after the supposed, I'm not making any claims here, I'm just saying this is exactly what the book says, you know, the supposed injustices that they were placed on them. And so we have to understand that reality is going to be a lot more complex. Not only is reality mysterious, it's as mysterious as it looks and seems and hears to be. So you've got to be really, really careful with the kind of information you're getting, because sometimes people can take in too much information and it completely blinds them to what is true and what's not true. I think that's how true conspiracy theorists gets created, is like they are truly a conspiracy theorist, and it's too much. Like it's too, like not everything is a conspiracy. Like I've heard one of my English teachers in college, she said, sometimes a blue umbrella is just a blue umbrella. And not everything in literature is going to be, you know, imbued with meaning and such. And that's true to a degree, but it's also, I mean, there's still some symbolicness to it. There's still some kind of form of symbology that is formed in these things. And it's not necessarily the case that we need to look into every single nook and cranny, but sometimes we do need to look into every nook and cranny, because that's how we're going to know the truth. But we have to be careful and mindful of the knowledge that we're taking in. And so reading about how the mind of a psychopath works, there's another great book. I've only read a little bit of it on the PDF. What's it called? It's a specific psychological analysis book. Man, I'm going to have to look that up because I'm drawing a blank on what the book is called. But it's basically psychoanalytic studies on why people become anxious and how people become psychopathic because of anxiety. And it talks about the 3 different kinds of psychopathy and such. It's a very interesting study, very interesting indeed. But man, I wish I can remember what the name of that is. But anyway, the point here is that you've got to learn sometimes how a psychopath works and how a narcissist works to free yourself from any kind of potential psychopathy. And that's exactly what my goal was, reading these dark books. And so it's not necessarily because I want to, it's because I want to understand evil. I'm much more interested in understanding evil than ever joining it. But I'm also very aware that I am not to delve too far into it to where I see how to be how to be seduced by it. That's the key thing. And so, like learning about witchcraft or divination or all these other things that the Bible talks about, where things are not necessarily going to be cohesive to a profound, healthy, vibrant society to live through and live in, we have to still understand like what causes a society to get to that place. And that's why at the very beginning of this video I said that man is supposed to overcome the danger. We're not supposed to be comfortable. We're supposed to overcome this. And sometimes the only way to overcome it is by approaching it as if it's not an enemy. Approaching the evil as if it's not an enemy, but working as a spy, right? Because where's that book? In the 48 Laws of Power, it talks about how sometimes you need to work as a spy, like get to know the enemy as by being a spy. And I've seen people do that. I've seen how people behave that way, and you've got to be careful with those kinds of people because the Lord will judge them if they're doing this for the wrong reasons. So you've got to be mindful too on how you're maneuvering through the world. So yes, they're the people that are involved with these iniquities and evil, they're about to be judged, and they're about to feel the wrath and the fire and the fierce anger of the Most High. And honestly, I'm ready to see Babylon fall. I can't wait to see Babylon fall. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting because something better will probably take its place. And because it usually does. It almost always does. Every time something like that was once good but turns malevolent and perverted falls, something better takes its place. So it might take some time, sure, but I know that the Most High has a plan, and I know that being a vessel for him is the best thing to possibly do at this point. And that's what this fast that we're doing for the Regal Change Academy is all about. Right here, right now, we are doing this fast to wage war on the inner demons or any kind of demons out there, and the negative spirits, the unclean spirits and beings that want to celebrate debauchery and degeneracy. I don't know if you guys saw this. I saw this earlier. This Kim Kardashian posted a video, a music video of like Santa Baby, and she's literally like crawling through degeneracy in the video. And I'm not exactly sure what her goal was with making this video. I'm not sure if she was just trying to expose how Christmas isn't about Christ anymore or what. But it was a rough go. It was a rough watch. Viewer discretion is advised. I didn't even watch the whole thing because it was just that bad. I saw enough and I was like, this is not art. This is not art. I don't know who. I think she believes that it's art, but these kinds of people are done. Like these celebrities out here, they're so cooked that it's not even funny. And there's still so many people that are buying into this. And then we see the women that are doing OnlyFans instead of pursuing family, and they're scared to love. They're scared to love, and that's what it is. But I can make a whole video about that another time. But what I really wanted to get across today, at least in this video, because I've already made a video earlier today, what I want to get across in this video is how people need to wake up to their judgment, and they need to see what's before them and act accordingly. Else they will fear the Most High God in a way that they've never fear before. And I do fear the Lord, and I don't fear death because I fear not living in the truth more than that. And in a way, I fear hell, I suppose, as well, because maybe not hell itself, but going there. I fear going there. I fear not choosing to live a life that it goes in accordance to God's laws, statutes, and commandments that leads me to hell. So with all that being said, if you do want to join the Regal Change Academy and be a part of the whole shebang that we've got going on, because we've got so many different cool things happening. We've got the Art of War class series happening right now. We've got in the full membership, the paid community anyway, you can get 2 Bible study classes per week, as well as a weekly congregation call. Other classes available to help you grow closer to God. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to be, this is it. This is the only way that can help you. No, this is just another tool that you can put under your tool belt for spiritual awareness and understanding. That's what those classes are for. We also have the free Discord, so if you want to check out the free resources there, feel free to do so. I appreciate you guys staying in and tuning in and listening. I also appreciate everybody that's moving from YouTube over to X and Rumble and Instagram as well. I appreciate your guys' extra support. And with all that being said, peace be with you. Till next time.